Hello and welcome. This is a post-run, post-hike, post-walk stretching session, and it's biomechanics informed. So that means that we're looking at preventing injury and maximizing your recovery. So we're going to start with a little foot exercise, and what you'll need is a set of yoga tune-up balls, 2 blocks, and that's it. If you don't have the yoga tune-up balls, you could use a couple of tennis balls and something like a sock to put them in. So we're going to start with one of those, and we're going to roll our feet. So I'm going to give you a little close-up of rolling the feet. We start by rolling through the ball panel of the foot. Then we move to rolling the sole of the foot, the big toe arch side, and the pinky toe arch side, and everything in between. Next, we do a plantar fascia stretch. So we take the toes and let them come up onto the ball, but the foot is flat, the whole sole of the foot is flat. We step forward and slowly peel up from the heel. We're going to do that 3 times. Let's switch to our second side. And then that plantar fascia stretch, toes up. And it will be the first 3 toes, really will kind of be gripping the ball. Three of these. Excellent. So join me on the floor. On this outside of the tibia, you got this shin bone, there's a little trough here. We're gonna roll that ball all the way down that little trough. All the way up and down. And you'll notice there's this meaty part kind of to the outside nearer the knee than the ankle. And when you get into that, it can be a little, reactive. And if you wish, you can kind of loosen the ankle by moving it, pedaling, I call it, or just kind of wiggling the ankle around. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then we're going to switch. Second side. One more breath here. All right. We're going to put this back in the little pouch. Stand up with me. So there are a couple of ways that you can do
can come into this calf stretch. So we're going to take the doubled balls and put them under the balls of the foot and let the heel relax to the floor. Now, how much stretch you get depends on where this free leg is going. So the further you go forward, the more stretch you have. So I'm gonna instruct you to go to about 75 or 80% stretch, but not 100. And the reason is because when you go to 100% stretch, sometimes your body goes, it kind of like, there's like, you hit a wall, right? And you kind of bounce off the wall. We don't want to go quite that much. We want the body to invite the release. We want your body to really be able to relax. So go to a place where it can relax and you don't strain in your stretch. And then we're going to twist so that you can get into different little areas of your calf. And you might notice when you twist into one direction, it's a little bit more pronounced, right? Just enjoy that. Stand up tall and breathe in and out of your nose. Let's switch sides. Excellent. Now we're going to release the hamstrings. So we're going to go into a little forward fold. Bend your knees. Make sure that your ribs rest on your thighs. This isn't about stretching your hamstrings. This is about releasing them. So we're going to create a reflex release by bending the knees and letting your thighs work. Shift your weight into your heels and gently press your heels apart. Now let your head relax to the floor and breathe. Bend your knees just a little bit and then take your thigh bones and pull them up into your hip sockets. Again, bend and pull them up. Now we're not trying to get a huge workout in, we're trying to release. So you don't need to do big knee bends here. And then hold in your forward fold. Just again, check and make sure that your ribs are super glued and attached to those thighs. Really important here for that. Then take your toes and reach them away from each other. So it's a little bit like Charlie Chaplin, but they're about 5 to 6 inches between your heels. And then shift your weight into your heels. Now take your toes in toward each other, so you're pigeon-toed and pigeon-hipped a little bit. And then again, shift the weight back into your heels. Head relaxes. Push your heels apart gently. Exhale, pull your chin to your chest. Now, release the chin, and with a straight spine, lead with your heart as you exhale and lift up to standing. Beautiful, all right? We're gonna take it down to the floor, and we're gonna take 2 blocks with us. So this is 8 inches high, and we're gonna have a seat. So take your knees a little bit wider than your hips. We're going to start on the right side, so we're going to take the left hand and put it in front of the left foot and lean over to the side. I also like to push my shoulder and the inside of my knee toward each other just a little bit, so there's just a little traction there. And then I'm going to take my right foot out. So I want you to kind of play with this. We're going to open the hip joint here. So we're going to push down slightly through the foot. We're going to take the knee, stretch it out to the side, and then back. So it's a small little thing that's going to open your hip quite nicely after after your walk or your run. The foot reaches down into the floor, the knee out, the knee back, relax. The foot down, the knee out, the knee back, relax. The foot down, the knee out, the knee back, relax. You're also getting a nice little stretch in your back, so you might even want to take your arm up for a nice deep breath, and then come up to seated and inch your foot in a little bit. Second side. So we go with the right hand on the floor, open up here, foot down, knee out, knee back, relax. Foot down, knee out, knee back, relax. Foot down, knee out, knee back, relax. These are subtle movements. You don't have to make them so big or so energetic. Foot down, knee out, knee back, relax. And then you may want a little spinal release. Nice deep breath. Inhale to come up and relax. Bring that foot in a little bit. All right, we're going from our simple hip opener to knee stretches. So we're gonna have a little seat on the floor, flat on the floor. This is for your knee joints. We're gonna put the forearm in the knee pit, and I want you to squeeze really tightly here. So usually flexion in the ankle helps you squeeze down and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze. It doesn't matter what this leg does, so just put it where it's comfortable for you. 2 more, last one, and switch. You're doing great. Squeeze, relax. Just remember to keep breathing in and out of your nose. And I'm going to give you a quick breathing tip also for all athletes. Sometimes we get really tired, and in those moments, it's really comfortable to kind of collapse down and rest your hands on your knees and your chest faces the floor. But that puts a little bit more pressure on your heart, and your heart actually can slow down much better if you lift your chest and just have your arms swinging by your sides. So that's something to consider when you're running, just so that you let your heart rate rest a little bit more easily instead of doing this. It makes a big difference. Try it out and let me know how that goes, but it does make a big difference. All right, going from knees to, now we're gonna get into the quads, because I know quads can get tight sometimes in our athletic endeavors. So we're gonna take the double balls, and we're gonna start here at the hip, right in the inguinal crease. All right, and how we're gonna crawl is we're gonna do these army crawls, and the balls are actually going to end up all the way down the leg, all the way to the knee, and then we're gonna switch sides. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna come a little bit more toward the back of the mat so that I can relax this hip onto the balls. Now I've got this knee here on the floor supporting me, and my elbows. And I'm gonna get nice and comfortable here, and maybe even do a little twisting so I can get just in the right spot in the inguinal crease. And then I'm gonna start to crawl slowly down the mat. Knee, elbow, elbow. Knee, elbow, elbow. And this is where we crawl, and the balls are gonna move down towards the knee. Just go slow. And of course, as you're doing this, if you have a spot that's particularly wiry, you're welcome to stay there for a couple of more breaths. And once you get all the way down to the knee, exhale, gently push back. We're gonna go to the other side. Resting that inguinal crease right into your tune-up balls. Rolling a little bit so you make sure you get exactly in that right spot. Right in there. And then rolling. Slow, gentle roll. And then when you're complete with that side, come out. And we're gonna do something that I call the best quad stretch ever. So I'm gonna put in a couple of clips so you can see some different angles. So if I were you, I'd use a wall. I'm gonna use both this sofa and the wall to demonstrate. And how it goes is you'll put your block long ways up against the baseboard. All right, so I'm going to show you from the side so that you can really see this. So I'm going to take my knee here onto the block. I'm going to have my toes up on the wall. And then I'm going to come here into this position. Now, if your quads are really tight, what's going to happen is you're going to be away from the wall. But eventually, this loosens up and you'll be able to get your hips and your shoulder blades touching the wall. You're welcome to shift a little bit side to side or twist a little bit side to side. From here, I'm going to place the hands on the floor, push the toes into the wall to take the hip toward the floor. Make sure that your ankle is a little further out than your knee, because you want to just protect your knee joint. You don't want any medial ligaments taking the brunt of this. So from here, you want to lengthen your chest forward, heart forward, and let your hips sink toward the floor. And you're welcome to do small movements here, maybe wiggle the hips right to left a couple of times. See what you come up with there. Keep breathing in and out of your nose. You're doing great. Now in a rainbow shape, just take your foot to the floor. All right, stand up for a moment. I just want you to be able to feel the release that you have here. Just feel that release. It's like a new leg. All right, so it's totally worth it. I realize that this can be really challenging and difficult the first time. So now on this one, I'm gonna go actually up against the wall so you can see it from the front view. And if you're concerned about getting your pedicure on the wall, just put like a little washcloth or a sock on your foot. You want your hips to start to relax back to the wall and your shoulder blades to the wall if possible. And it will happen, just stick with it. Just stick with it. And breathe. And maybe even twist a little bit right and left Taking hands to the floor, going into part 2. Foot comes out. Heel a little further out than the knee. Hip drops toward the floor. Just breathe in and out of your nose, and you're welcome to shift your hips right and left. One more breath here. Now this quad stretch will last a lot longer than the standing quad stretch. Take your foot to the floor, and let's stand up so that you can feel the release in the thigh. And really quickly, while you're standing up and breathing, I just want to say one thing. A lot of times what I see people doing when they stretch their quads is grabbing from the outside, pointing the toes, and then stretching here. That's not as safe for your knee. Again, your ligaments, you want to keep your knee ligaments safe. So what I would do instead is 2 things. If you can, grab with your opposite hand from behind. And once you pull the foot in, flex your foot, and that will give you more stretch. If it's difficult to grab from the opposite side, grab from this side, but keep your knees together. Bend your knees to grab the ankle, and then again, flex the foot. Quick tip. So while you're out there, and this works better, not before the run, but after the run, is really when this is works best for you. Okay, so a couple more things. We're going to go into a double L sitting position, so have a seat with me. And we're going to go from side to side. So again, we're opening the hips, getting a little internal and external hip rotation, which is something that running, walking, hiking doesn't do. This is kind of a different angle of your hip. Now we're going to stay here, and we're gently going to roll. So it's kind of like we're going into pigeon pose, but I want you to roll here and keep a 90-degree angle at your ankle. So your ankle is dorsiflexed, and a 90-degree angle at your knee. So I'm not as concerned with how far into this you go, but you're welcome to start playing with lengthening the leg and really getting a nice little stretch in the hip. I'm coming in and out of this position. And then anytime you might want to come in and do a little hold, lifting the chest, taking a deep breath. And then relaxing out and switching to that other side. 90-degree angle at the knee, flexion in the ankle. Rolling in, coming out. In and out. So this, again, becomes about something a little bit different. We're opening the hip joint and lengthening your spine, rather than focusing on trying to get in a particular position or pose. Letting that hip open, chest lifted. And again, you never have to stretch to 100%. Your body sometimes does that pushback thing, so if you go into like a 75 to 80% stretch, you'll get a little bit more out of it. And really what you're looking to get out of it is release, not how low can you go. And come on out of that. Now we're going to end the legs up the wall, and my suggestion for legs up the wall is to put your legs up the wall and stay there for 5 minutes. It helps open the hamstrings as well. So come on up onto this side. And you put your side against the wall, and then rotate toward the wall. You want your hips touching or almost touching, if not touching. And then your legs just natural here. Just let them rest. Take your shoulders out of your ears, palms up, close your eyes. Breathe in and out of your nose and have a really, really good rest and recovery. As always, it's a great pleasure being with you. And
and stay tuned for more. I'll see you soon. Take good care.